What's up, guys? My name's Jeff, aka Pumpkin Spice, and this is going to be the first ever The Odd Man Out podcast. And basically, it's just going to be a weekly thing. I'm going to go over some news stories that I like, and where I got the idea to do this on my video game YouTube was basically there's a lot of overlap right now. There's a lot that I wanted to talk about in regards to Battlefield, just with what's going on with that beta and how that all turned out, and other stuff going on in the world. And I simply don't have time to do two channels. So basically, we're going to try and consolidate all of that here. If you don't agree with my views, I would appreciate dialogue. I like uh, open dialogue, especially in regards to politics. I'm one of those rare unicorns that does not take anything to heart. I have no skin in the game. I think all politicians are evil. All public policy is bad. That's my default. So, well, not that all public policy is bad. Just that there's unintended consequences for each policy that's passed. So, I figured that puts me in a unique position to sit there and talk to you guys, to share my ideas, and not have this be some sort of dick measuring game or anything like that. We're not out here to well, I mean, kind of like, yeah, this is kind of like a challenge of ideas. I don't want to say that, but the idea is basically just, share my ideas if people would disagree. I mean, I'm welcome to interact with other people that disagree with me. I do not get offended. I don't care. Nothing offends me. With that said, let's do this. Let's do the first ever episode. And I'm gonna wait. I want to talk about Battlefield last because I have a lot to say about it. I have a very strong opinion on it, and I want to eventually do where I have like 3 or 4 stories that I want to go over, and at least one of them's good. Like right now, everything is negative because there's not a whole lot good. There's not a whole lot of good in the world that we're learning about. There are positive aspects to the second story, but not. I guess the overall issue isn't positive. So let's do the first one. The first one that we're gonna go with is PETA. PETA is calling out Far Cry 6 for having a cockfighting minigame in in the Far Cry 6. There's a cockfight minigame, and they're all butthurt about it. I don't get what a video game has to do with this. It's turning a horrific blood sport like cockfighting into a Mortal Kombat style video game match is a far cry, haha, pun intended, from real innovation, as today's society is strongly opposed to forcing animals to fight to death. Roosters used in cockfights are fitted with sharp spurs that tear through flesh and bone, causing agonizing and fatal injuries. Now, I'm not gonna, like, full disclosure, I hunt, so I'm not gonna sit there and pretend that I've never killed an animal before. But I mean, yeah, cockfighting is bad, but at the same time, it's a video game? I mean, I've done worse in video games. I mean, for real. I mean, you can walk up, you can beat an old woman and steal her car in GTA, but no, fucking God forbid you play a fucking game where you're fighting cocks with one another. It's like, oh, it's so stupid. I don't even know why I picked this, but I saw it and I was like, why? What is the big deal? What did they learn? What did they gain from this? They don't gain anything from it except for fucking, they might get some pats on the back by their own fucking group, but I don't feel any more love towards them. I mean, I don't feel any more there's no ties to that organization from this. I just see that they're overreacting about a video game. Who fucking cares? This is like Karen shit from the 90s, the moms that wanted to fucking shut down Mortal Kombat. Why are they acting like this? What's the fucking, if somebody from the left, I guess, if you're going to talk about like politics in a left-right paradigm, especially that's how people like to look at it in the US, if somebody from the left who is an animal lover or is part of PETA could explain this to me, I would appreciate it. I mean, you really do look like somebody who's just trying to take a shit on the party. I mean, people are just trying to escape and have fun, and God forbid, there's cockfighting in a game, and it's not even just like the part of the game. You're fucking playing one of the roosters fighting the other rooster. It's a fucking mini game with any game. Who fucking cares? For real, like, what's the fucking point? It's just like we're wasting so much time talking about stupid bullshit like this, and why they would. It's PETA Latino. I don't know what that matters or why that's even a deal. I mean, why don't they just have? I mean, PETA. I mean, why do we have to segregate ourselves among races? What's the point in that? I mean, as a person who's a Heinz 57 motherfucker with a bunch of different, uh, diversity within their DNA. Uh, why? I mean, I don't make it a point. Like, yeah, I'm Irish, but I mean, it's not like it's not my identity. I mean, I make fun of it. I make fun of myself, but that's about as far as it goes. Why does that even need to be a thing? I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's just so fucking stupid. Uh, so if anybody can explain to me though why Pete is doing this, I don't know. I would like to hear. What's the position? I mean, if we know that video games don't actually quell teenage violence, they actually make teenagers less violent. They're able to take out their aggression in other ways. Uh, why would this not transfer over to animal violence? Kids that are more likely to play violent video games are less violent in their everyday lives, regardless of socioeconomic status or social status in general. Why? What makes this animal shit different? I mean, I grew up in the 90s, dude. I had friends that did horrible shit to animals, and I'm not proud of that. It's not like I'm sitting here bragging. We have animals now. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the birds in the background. Those are rescue birds. We have 4 cats, 2 dogs. All right. So this isn't for a lack of animal love, in this household. My family has got a long history of adopting just cuddly, cute things. All right. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't tell my wife to stop or she'll kill me. Now I'm off on my own tangent. Let's I want to look at the supply chains though. Supply chains was the second one. So PETA, the thing, fuck it, who cares? It's PETA. So next up, I want to talk about the Southwest Airlines, okay? Because this is kind of a big deal. I'm gonna move myself down a little bit because I know you guys couldn't see the fucking headline. All right, so Southwest over the weekend had like over 2,000 flights canceled, and a lot of people were saying that this was due to weather. This was due to weather, air traffic control issues, and all that. Then I guess some of the employees came forward and they were talking to family, relatives, and text messages, all that shit, and basically, said that no, this is because a bunch of people had a sick out. They decided not to go into work. Because of vaccine mandates. And since we're already like having supply chains kind of break down, I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen the ships that are docked off of the coast of California. All right. That's supply chains breaking down. We don't have enough people to offload those ships to get the goods within the country. So, people are a commodity. People are a resource. This is kind of what the state forgets and their mandates. And they're going to learn this pretty fast that if you have, I guess, like a 30% rejection rate of the vaccines, we're not going to get into the vaccines themselves. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice at all. But if you have 30% of people who are going to refuse to take vaccine, that's, it's got to transfer over. No, it doesn't directly transfer over, but for the sake of, brevity, let's go ahead and we're gonna just transfer that over. So 30% of the workforce is going to deny the vaccine. All right, well, that's 30% of resource that you're losing within those markets. And it's not just service industry. It goes further than that. It goes to manufacturing. It goes to specialized industries. This is a big deal, and we're highlighting this now. And I mean, I know that Southwest says that it wasn't the cause. Apparently, they were like, oh well, that's not why. It was because of uh, air traffic control issues and um weather. But the weather was fine Saturday. All right, you're talking about a 5 hour plus wait for luggage in some places. You're talking about, and there's text messages, supposed text messages from people who work for the airport that said, yeah, that a bunch of people called in sick on purpose. 50% of all Southwest flights go through Florida, which is the big deal. That's how all these flights got canceled. They found a choke point and they went with the choke point. So yeah, you can Southwest see the CEO of Southwest Airlines went on MSNBC or CNBC, I think is what it was, claiming that it wasn't due to employee action and all that stuff. I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling bullshit. I don't believe that that's the case. I think the prevailing evidence that's coming out, and this is why even lie about this? I mean, and the guy goes on TV, he's like, I'm not even for Joe Biden's vaccine mandate. Corporations shouldn't be, doing this, which is right. Corporations shouldn't be in league with the government, carrying out the government's deeds. That's fascism. He's absolutely right about that. But I take a swig of my drink. But that doesn't mean that they're not doing it. I think he's trying to save face, not create a panic, and not. Obviously, he doesn't want to have his business messed with, and the FAA has a lot of power. All right, it's in his best interest to go out there and kind of like pat the government on the back for well, not necessarily pat. He can give a little bit of pushback, but not necessarily blame the government and say, okay, this is because of your mandate. This is why. This is what's happening. But that can only be avoided for so long. And then he looks like a liar, and then it looks like he's in collusion with the state, and that's where conspiracies come, derived from. People will start, kind of like putting their own Lego pieces together. And I say Legos because it's conspiracy Legos. If you don't come out with the truth immediately, people can just go ahead and plug in whatever they want to next. And that's how, one, views that are logical get discredited, and two, how conspiracies thrive, especially like kind of some of the out there conspiracies. A lot of the stuff surrounding. We'll touch on the vaccine as an example. A lot of the stuff surrounding the vaccine. You don't address some of the adverse effects, the rate at which it's happening, and people are able to plug in whatever Lego conspiracy theory they want on top of it. Oh, it's changing your genetic code. It's doing this when that's not true. It's not how the vaccines work. All it does is kind of like train your immune system to prevent the spike protein from docking with your cells. That's all the vaccines do. The mRNA vaccines specifically, and the adenovirus virus vaccines. They all tell your cells to produce spike protein, express spike protein, and that's how your body learns it's like a natural infection, but it's just not with the meat of the virus. There's the membrane protein's gone, the nucleocapsid protein is gone. The only thing that's left is spike protein. So that's how the vaccines work. But if you leave that alone and you don't tell them how it works, they hear memory and RNA, and people will put whatever they want on there. You're suppressing your immune system, which there's a lot of that's misinformation. I'm not going to get into that. There's also other kind of like aspects where you have high zone tolerance and the possible outcomes of being over saturated with spike protein. So there are legitimate concerns that are thrown in with these conspiracy theories that your genetics are being altered and all this stuff. That's all conspiracy, but there's like high zone tolerance and all this stuff are legitimate concerns, even though I think personally I haven't seen enough evidence to say that they're not overblown. So they are, but this is supply chains. We saw with the nurses, and last month, the National Guard was activated in New York to go and help the hospitals out. I mean, this is what's going to happen whenever you mandate these businesses, you mandate these people to do something and they don't want to do it, or say they're like me. All right, I caught Delta in the wild, so I have recovered immunity. Um, you know, I was almost convinced to go get a booster shot based on the evidence. Not a booster, but I mean just an initial one dose. All right. I was almost convinced, to do that, but I don't appeal to authority. So when Biden came out and was like, blah, 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 and now I'm already protected more than a vaccinated person. If I got the single dose, I would be the most protected. There's some concern about plasma intolerance with the second dose if you've already been infected. And it could happen for some people that, have suppressed immune systems, and spike protein is allowed to produce more within your body. But he passed his mandates, and I don't appeal to. I'm an anarchist. I'm not going to appeal to authority. Fuck him. I'm not going to get his shot. I'm not going to give in to the system. Fuck you. I'm not getting a passport. I'm not doing any of that bullshit. I will not have anything to do with an area that requires me to have a passport, because I don't appeal to authority. This is wrong. This is not the virus to do something like this. If this was the virus to do something, this virus would have to be 10 times worse than the Spanish flu in order to get me to be like, yeah, maybe we should do this. Don't put it that way. You think about it. Spanish flu. A lot of people have been sharing a story about Spanish flu. The death rate has surpassed Spanish flu. And you're right. In America, it has surpassed Spanish flu, but worldwide, it hasn't. All right. And this is where percentages really matter. And I know I'm getting way off of supply chains. I wanted to talk about that more, but this is important to say. Spanish flu killed 5% of the world population, and that's how you measure these things. You don't go and you compare numbers to numbers. We don't have we're not converting for population density within the area in which statistics were taken. We're not taking account, there are positive aspects. We're not taking account, the healthcare system, how it's improved since then. But just to get like an overall, like kind of like case fatality rate idea, maybe like minuscule, just to get something like that, you go ahead and you compare percentages on, what's the, say, like case fatality rate in the world today versus what's the case fatality rate in the world after Spanish flu. So Spanish flu was 5% of the population died. And I don't know what the case fatality rate was for it, but I mean, you look at the amount of people at that time, that was 50 million individuals died. All right, 50 million people died. Today, 5 million people have died from coronavirus. That is 0.7%. So it's 0.7% versus 5%. So you can't directly correlate these two things that happen. And context in which it happened within history is important. Relaying that information so there's not an overreaction. Fear is not induced in response to that is important. The media tends to forget this. That's probably the best thing that I have to say about like all this stuff. Is I come at it from a very objective, position. I'm not here to promote any ideas or parties or principles. Well, I am here to. I take that back. I'm here to promote principles, but I'm not here to trash anyone else's principles. I want to compare principles. I want compare and contrast, and I want to find common ground with people as well. I was talking to a friend last night, and I've been learning about Nordic capitalism, and I don't like government subsidized healthcare systems, but if we were to have one, I would rather it happen on a local level versus on a national level. I would much more a Scandinavian approach. If you come together like that, I'm not going to say like, yes, we should have it, but I mean, this is how I would think it would work if we were to have it. Kind of like try and put the ideas in their head that, decentralization, because even though the government is very decentralized now, and as far as like the enforcement wing, people will sit there and say, oh, we have a centralized government. Well, no, we don't. The IRS has a building in New Orleans, the ATF has a building in New Orleans. No, we're not centralized. If everybody was in Washington, D.C., and it was centralized, you would know to direct all your anger at. You would know what to cut off ties from. A centralized government would be more efficient in the enforcement wing, but decentralized in regards to public services is what we want. That's what we should have. Back to the supply chain. I know we got way off on a tangent with that one. That's going to happen pretty often, which is probably going to make this segment when the supply chain breaks down probably longer than Battlefield, because I don't know if I have like 20 minutes worth to say on Battlefield. But it's going to happen more. It's not going to be just goods and services. I mean, this is where we're going in the future. We're not going to be able to get things as easily as we could 2 years ago, and a lot of it's for no reason. It's just the a market response to policy. I mean, you're going to see people go and start working more for the black market. I'm fine with an alternative market. I would say I think it's a good idea to have that as a backup. Maybe something that's centered around crypto. Maybe something that's centered around even physical assets. Maybe you could, if your heart desires to create a sharing economy, like anarcho-communists want, you go ahead for it. I don't care. But I think that throwing all of our eggs in one basket and continuing down this, road that we've decided to go on towards destruction, self-destruction, and annihilation, I think we got to stop that. We got to turn that car around. We got to right the ship, speak. Supply chains are, everybody's seen it. We have, dude, the fact that, most of the country is back to normal and we still, there's bottled water that missing in some areas, dog food, clothes, electronics are still hard to find, computer chips are still hard to find. What the fuck is going on is the real question. It's not just like, from my perspective, some of it is subsidized living standards. People don't want to go back to work. They were making more off of government assistance than they ever have in their lives. And there's another sect of just like people, whenever you stop everything like that, it takes some time for it to start going again and to become more to get as efficient as it was. You can't just put the brakes on an economy like that. It's crazy what they've thought that they could get away with, what they thought they could do. Like I don't know how else to put it. I mean, we're fucked as far as supply chains go because we don't make anything here. And not that I'm like advocating that we bring back like $1 an hour fucking jobs, $13 a day fucking manufacturing jobs. No. I mean, we need to kind of like diversify more on the job market. Maybe individualized services more. Whenever I refer to the Scandinavian models of economics right now, the Nordic capitalist models, they don't have as many restrictions as we have here in, like, say, the States. If you want to go in your garage and start your own business, you pretty much can, which is insane. We're supposed to be landed the free, but that's not true. Economically speaking, people have so much freedom, much more freedom than we have, abroad. It's disgusting. And I think that we should get back to more of an individualist level. Say like you want to provide services, you shouldn't have to go out and get a fucking license. And I think that would pull up the slack and, the supply chain breakdown. I think that would, that would take up that slack and maybe help us out some. Possibly, I mean, you would have to do it with a lot of taxes. You can't force one employee to get limited liability insurance on themselves, for fixing grandma's sink down the street. You can't do that. I think that's where I'm gonna stop with that because I really want to talk about Battlefield. I really do. So, final segment of the day, this first episode, we're gonna be talking about Battlefield. Battlefield beta, Battlefield 2042. Um, First, some history, I guess. I'm old school Battlefield, early 2000s when Battlefield 1942 came out for PC. I was playing on my cousin's PC. He got it and was showing it to me. And when I had finally gotten, when my family, my mom and them had finally gotten our a PC strong enough to play Battlefield 2, I went out and picked it up. So I'm old school, really old school fan. This fucking hot garbage. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the bottom. This fucking hot garbage. That's not Battlefield. I'm sorry, and it's not it's not the futuristic setting. That I'm fine with that. It's not the more cartoonish look. I'm fine with that. Um, Everything else other than vehicles and the fact that there's destruction, uh, there's nothing else that resembles Battlefield. Nothing else at all. There's no class system. There's no one's which the class system they don't realize. The specialization system, um, it's meant to entice, team play. So you have medics, uh, demolitions, sniper. It's meant to kind of like entice people to play as a squad and take up different roles. This game doesn't. You can do whatever you want, and it's that sounds good in theory. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not. It's just not fun. I mean, I was left. I mean, if I go back and play Battlefield 4, if I'm in a large group, as some of the groups that have been huge. If I was in a group of that size, um, somebody would have picked me up. A medic would have been there. But now that everybody has the ability to pick somebody up, nobody picks anybody up. It's fucking insane. So the class system, I don't think the class system that they have, whatever they have, the random shit, the fucking freedom that they gave you, which I admit, uh, sounds counterproductive to kind of like limit players. But I mean, a lot of players need limiting. They need their, a lot of players like me, they need that narrow view and focus. So that's all I have to say about the class system. The class system is not a deal breaker, though. What is the deal breaker? Is the infrastructure. All right, the TTK first and foremost is way too fucking high. It takes way too long to kill somebody. That needs to stop. The fucking armor that they stole from Battlefield Warzone. Why? Why the fuck would you even put that in there? That is so fucking stupid. Uh, just like just because something is good in one game does not mean it's going to be good in another. All right, all the clone people at the fucking bottom. Why? I mean, couldn't you make like Russian and U.S. characters? I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, the fact that it's still two sides and there's no distinction between these characters. It makes playing the game harder. Knowing who's your friendly and who's an enemy, especially whenever your indicator, which is supposed to pop up in game, which I personally don't like. I would much rather play a hardcore version of the game, but yeah, fucking if the indicator's not gonna pop up, it makes it even fucking harder for you to tell if if that's just the game fucking up, or uh, that's a friendly. I don't know what they were. It's like a huge pile of shit that they just decided to like throw together, and all these good ideas from all these other games or from games that they've released in the past, they've decided to just plug them all fucking right in and make this Frankenstein of a fucking shooter. I mean, I'm don't know how else to put it. It's disgusting. The guns feel horrible. They all feel the same. Um, as you can see, I'm using the DMR in the video, but it that and the hit reg. The hit reg is bad. I know I hit that guy from. I don't know what was up with the servers, but the hit reg was fucking horrendous. And I don't know if it's a due to the fact that they were testing the networking system, and that's the idea. They need to come out and tell people what they are testing. Because rumor has it that the developer said that this is from a 2 month old build. Well, then what are we exactly? Are we beta testing? Why are we even doing this beta? What kind of feedback are we supposed to give? I can give you like an hour's of feedback. The TTK is too long. The gun system is disgusting. Well, why are all of these fucking add-ons fucking? See, he died behind that fucking container right there. That was a horrible fucking reoccurrence that happened on my end. I would be behind something. It's lag. It's what it is. The system can't keep up. I mean, I would much rather have 128 tick servers with fucking 64 people on the map than have 128 people and fucking die behind containers. What the fuck? Why do we have to have the most people on the fucking map? And how is this a hard game to make today? All right. PlayStation 4, or was it PlayStation 3? It was PlayStation 3. Had 250 people on a map with mag. First person shooter. I don't remember being as frustrated at mag as it did this game. It was horrible. It was disgusting. The my time spent was just nothing. It's like right now. I have nothing nice to say about this game. I have nothing nice to say about it. And people will sit there and be like, well, because they don't want to alienate their audience, I guess. But this is like a pile of fucking shit. This should not exist. I think that everybody at DICE should be fired and go ahead and hire some fucking new people. Hire somebody who's going to innovate, not take fucking other fucking games' ideas and fucking try and force them into their own game. For fuck's sakes, fucking innovate. This is disgusting. This is like a corporation fucking taking another corporation's ideas. Or maybe not even a corporation. Fucking, I can't believe I'm getting kills. I picked the wrong footage for this because there was a lot with like the fucking, I shot one guy in the fucking chest 3 times with the fucking DMR and he fucking kept one coming at me. I would much rather more accurate servers that paint a more accurate picture than fucking have more players on the battlefield. It's just not a good game. It's messy. It's messy gameplay. There's no room for any kind of strategy. It's blah. It feels like the fucking whenever I think Battlefield, I think innovation, I think fun gameplay, I think a specific type of gameplay. I don't think, wow, this is kind of like, this is like if it's like one of those Chinese companies, stole intellectual property and fucking made their own Chinese version of Battlefield. That's what it feels like, a cheap ripoff. It doesn't feel like the game that I've come to play. And I forgot what I was gonna say next because I had a fucking point. I was getting to with that. Why the fuck is there not a lean button in these fucking games? I want to know that. Why the fuck do we not have a left and right lean yet? What the fuck is that? For real. Somebody can explain to me why this simple mechanic that's in like so many fucking, indie games that fucking only have like a third of the employees that fucking EA and DICE have. Fucking not even more, maybe not even that much. Maybe a quarter of the fucking employees. Well, it's like how can those games have lean, all right, and provide a more enjoyable experience than fucking a company with like 200 employees? Is somebody gonna rescue me? Is somebody gonna pick me up? I'm waiting. I keep thinking somebody is, but they're not. They don't. They just run past me. It's fucking. It's disgusting. I don't know what else to say about this. I'm still gonna get it, and I'm trying everything to try and see what's wrong. So I'm changing my display settings. I don't know. I'm still gonna review the full game, but as of right now, it's a piece of shit. It's disgusting. I can't recommend anybody who, especially somebody that says that they love Battlefield, I can't recommend this game to them. Not in its current state. And I mean, I'm hoping that I'm not like refunding within 2 hours of purchasing it on Steam. And that's the only reason I'm going with Steam, because I want a refund if I get the opportunity to. Because I'm not gonna fucking, if I'll know within the first 2 hours if they fucking, you know, if they fix their game. If they didn't fix their game, I'm not fucking keeping it. Fuck that. I'll wait a year and come back and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with this. It's junk. This is junk. This is like lazily done. All they did was put a modern setting to fucking the hot garbage path that they've been on with the past three fucking Battlefield. And I like Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 was actually pretty good. Battlefield 5 was not good at all. Uh, you know, it took a minute for it to get good. Uh, and even then, it still wasn't that good. I still played Battlefield 1 over Battlefield 5. I played Battlefield 4 over Battlefield 5. Uh, this is this seems like it. You know, we might be in for a worse ride. Um, anyway, I'm gonna wrap that up there. I don't have anything else to say about it. I had a whole list of things. Um, Now I'm just potatoing. It's funny to watch your own gameplay. Yeah, but hit like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed it. Um, Go ahead and drop your own fucking comments. Drop your own ideas for fucking topics to cover. I meant to say topics. I'd appreciate that. I wouldn't mind covering some topics that other people enjoy. I don't want this to be all about me. I want to kind of like create a dialogue, I guess. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.